All right, good evening. Welcome to Tesla's live stream. Ryan here, always a pleasure. And my wonderful assistant, I'm gonna say assistant.
Wow,
I'm gonna
really?
say assistant this
Really?
evening.
Wow, okay.
Got him.
All right, I'll be your assistant.
Yep, there's my assistant, Glenn.
Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome to the call. We've done this for a couple of stocks, especially the big name stocks. You guys have liked it. If you, by the way, if you can hear us, by all means, please respond in the chat, preferably with VV Nation, to let us know if you can hear us loud and clear. I wonder if a lot of people are going to show up. If they don't, that's fine. We're only going to be here as long as you want us to be here. So we're going to talk about a couple of stocks that, earnings stocks that hit as well, that went along with Tesla. And then we're going to listen at 5:30, in about 15 minutes, we're going to listen to the live call. So the biggest thing for me is that they hit earnings and they missed on revenue, but as you can see on the screen, Joey, put it up on the screen, please. What? You better put it back up on the screen. I will fight you.
What do we do?
I want you to put this screen up. Don't you? How do you not know? How long you been doing this?
I'm listening to you. I've got
Like that?
something to do.
No, not. I don't want that up yet. Not yet.
What do you want?
I want that screen.
It's on you.
Oh, it is? Well, I got it up. They don't see it.
I see it.
All right. Anyway.
Oh, they do see
Yeah,
it.
now they see it.
Now they
Man.
see.
So they beat earnings but missed on revenue, but they're up about 7%. Lam Research, I know Amir has been wanting to look at Lam a lot. They beat as well. They're up.
Just shy of 5%.
That's
looks like.
correct. ServiceNow, we're going to look at some of these stocks real quick. ServiceNow down end of day or aftermarket 1.67%. IBM down 2.25%, and Newmont, the gold stock, and Ryan's talking about gold tonight in the video that's going to come out in about 45 minutes. They got hit a little bit. So now, Ryan, put us in the stories.
All right.
Because I wanted to take a look at some, after Tesla hit on earnings but missed on revenues, jumped 6%.
I saw as high as almost 10%.
That's crazy. I didn't anticipate that. And I'm curious to know where they beat earnings. How did that happen?
Right. Look, revenue came in just shy of expectations, but I think the expectations were lowered quite a bit. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Go to the next story.
So yes, it's up.
Look at that. It's
8.8% now. Because I saw it around 9% not too long ago.
Gross margin positive for Tesla. Thank you, Santalal.
So there's the results here. 72 cents versus 58 cents.
They beat
expected.
it handedly, but they missed revenue.
But 58 cents, I mean, they lowered the bar though when it comes to earnings.
Tell me who else isn't.
Yeah,
they all are.
Yeah, they're all lowering the bar. That's true. Because one thing I did find interesting, if I go to Tesla's earnings here, when they reported at the beginning of this year, January 24th, you see they reported 71 cents EPS, 25 billion in revenue. The surprise is to the downside, but if we compare that till now, which one was it here? We're only 1 cent off.
Yeah.
We're only 1 cent off.
So,
and then we're still at 25, billion roughly for revenue. So the company, in my opinion, yeah, it popped up. I don't see, real reason to get, overly bullish with this. I mean, they just lowered the bar and they were able to beat. So.
And Ramon, I think that it is. I think all of our stories reflect the GAA, the gap.
Yes.
Earnings. All right, real quick let's just follow up with a lot of the other stocks that came in. Tesla, again, beat earnings but missed revenues. T-Mobile came in. They beat the bottom and the top line. They beat earnings and revenue. ServiceNow, even though it's down, beat earnings and revenue. AT&T beat earnings, missed revenue.
Now that I find interesting, IBM mixed.
Yes, that's it. And I thought IBM
billion.
was, I'm thinking IBM is like a stock of the past.
And Boeing, I'm not even surprised.
Yeah, they just missed.
I'm not going to say I'm too surprised by Boeing right now.
All right, so now we want to talk about more gap. There's Newmont, non-gap actually. 81, they missed
by 5 cents.
And they missed on both. And that's a gold stock, right? They missed earnings and they missed on revenue. So that's a big hit on them aftermarket. It's not up there. That's a big hit on them aftermarket. They missed on both earnings and on revenue. IBM beats earnings by 7 cents and misses revenue by 110
Ooh.
million. That's a lot.
That's not a small number.
That's not a small number. Lamb Research reported, here's this, I think,
Well, that one's locked with premium.
yeah, where's Lamb?
That's weird that some will lock you, some won't.
It's because of Joey's.
There it is.
They beat on both
They beat on
earnings.
both.
and
But that's
revenue.
good for the semiconductors.
I agree.
I mean, the semis are looking good right now as far as their earnings. But again, I'd have to go back and look at Lamb Research. A lot of these companies are just lowering the bar.
Over
With that-
and over and over. That makes me angry. And then the last stock is ServiceNow. They beat earnings and they beat revenue again. So again, on these stories, I didn't need to dig deep down. Excuse me, I just wanted to give you a sense of what the companies did. We'll go back into the system and there they are. My ServiceNow, again, they beat on both earnings and revenue and they're down. I'm curious to see.
Let
what's
me
gonna
just
happen.
graph these while we got a moment.
Sure.
We got about 9 minutes. Let's do the 1 day. You see the price movement here?
And we are in pre-market.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
gonna take
can see
out
that.
value, take off the stop price.
Look at that, all over the place.
All over the place.
That is just all over. That's just
You can see the body right here around 233. It looks like where it's gonna
Level
settle
out.
out at. But with 5 minutes before the earnings call, you know, anything can happen here. We're seeing a lot of upper and lower wicks.
That's
It's
just
probably
big
for the
people.
low volume after hours, big buyers and sellers. If we go to Lamb Research, nice gap up,
Yep.
and it's holding its ground here. I like that.
Where's Amir? Amir's been asking me about
Here's
that.
now. So now,
ServiceNow did get hit, but now trading off of its lows and leveling out.
yeah. No, and look at that big bullish momentum. I mean, the buyers came right in to find that dip. You see, probably it's leveled off here.
Yep.
IBM
Steadily moving higher, but gap down.
took the struggle bus right after the close.
Struggle bus.
You like that one? The
I
struggle.
like that. The struggle
Took the
bus.
struggle bus right after the market. But you can see, I mean, the optimism starting to come back here. Where was that? 235 roughly. Now we're at 226.
So some of these stocks are gaining some momentum going into the open tomorrow.
Correct. But I mean, with the sentiment of the market not in the best shape right now, I mean, I could see why some of these stocks sold off in the beginning and now starting to recover. Especially, IBM missed on one, right? It was the revenue that they missed. Okay.
I forget which one, but they did miss on one.
And then if I click, there we go. Wait.
And my
And we've
good
got
friend,
Newmont.
my good friend Ryan here is big on gold. You know something? I'm not going to beat you up for that because I don't think that's a beat up.
Well, there's a little trick, and you don't have to be, because in the video tonight, see this ascending channel? That's all.
I do see that, Ryan. What does that mean?
Well, in tonight's video, I literally talk about this ascending channel because a lot of stocks in the gold space are showing this. Watch tonight's video. If you watched tonight's video, you would have known that today was not the best day to be buying because we're at the top of the channel. But look, we're seeing buying pressure there. So I'm not going to speak on this too much. Watch tonight's gold video. It's going to specialize in ascending channels is kind of the theme there as far as the technical analysis.
Someone wants to look at CLS. They beat on earnings. There were so many stocks. I just picked some of the
I mean,
big
over
ones
the
right
next
now.
2 weeks, so many big names are coming out.
CLS is up 10%. Let's go look at the news. Let's go look at the stock news. I'm sure it was an earnings beat. Look at that pre-market, aftermarket up 8. Look at that nice jump. Let's go see. Up 8% after the third quarter adjusted earnings per share and revenue beat. So they beat on earnings and they beat on revenue. Third quarter adjusted earnings per share and revenue beat. Look at that.
Well, I know the market could use a gap up tomorrow. After
I agree with that.
today's rough day.
So I wanted to look. Thank you for that, Troy. Thank you for that, Troy. Another Freyer, Ron Freyer, and wow, so we got some couple of Freyers. I do know a Freyer in church. I do.
There's a lot of people in Michigan I see in the comment section.
Go blue! They're not even in the top 25 anymore. Sigh. Are you a football fan at all? College football fan at all?
College, not so much. Professional, yeah. I'm more college basketball.
What helmets?
Michigan got beat by Illinois with those stupid helmets.
We got beat by Illinois. That's fine. Who's your favorite football team?
Professional?
Yeah.
Panthers. Born and raised. Trust me, it's
Your
not
team
easy.
plays
It's not,
my team.
It's not easy being a Panthers
So
fan.
one of our teams is going to win
Broncos fan.
because I'm a Giants fan, and we're playing over in London and something like that.
Yeah?
This week,
All right. It's not this week?
No.
playing the Broncos.
Are they playing the Broncos?
I think it's in November,
Oh,
that
whatever.
game.
All right. So we're getting ready. Joey, start getting set up for the thing. Do I need to?
For the thingy thing?
Here we go.
It's on you, my boy.
Where do I need to put? Where the heck is it? What did you do?
Go to the Google.
Oh, it's that. There it is. We got 4 minutes.
Proud of you.
Whatever. We got 4 minutes and 20 seconds before we get started. So how would you guys play Tesla now if you're not in it? Well, we saw what Ryan did today prior to the earnings in his portfolio that we have on afternoon market action. He did go with TSLQs, and he only put a half a position in it. I think
But
it was
half a
smart-
position, I got a pretty tight stop on it. I think it was like a 10% trail stop. So even if I get stopped out at 10%, I mean, it's a $50 loss.
Not only that, think about this. If it does follow through to tomorrow, he can flip it. He can go from TSLQ and still put $500 in it to go to TSLL. I think that no matter what we've got is preliminary news tonight. We got to see if we get followed through tomorrow. We got to see if the big money jumps on board with it tomorrow. So if you're not in it, well, you ain't trading right now anyway because the market's closed. But
Not trading options, at least.
that's or Forex, but
Yeah.
this ain't Forex.
No.
I think that wait to see what goes on tomorrow. If you're not already in it, a lot of people how many of you took a bullish play on Tesla before earnings? Type of 1. How many of you took a bearish play on Tesla before earnings? Type
John,
of
I
2.
love a good iron condor. I couldn't do that in the portfolio, so I had to choose one.
Yeah, iron condor. Actually, I would have played just because it's Tesla. I probably would have played a straddle. I would have bought a call and put at the same strike. That's probably what I would do. So I'm just curious to know. Type in there if you were. Which one did I say? Bullish on Tesla 1.
Bullish 1,
Bearish 2.
bearish 2, I think.
Okay, so there we go. I just want to see what the people got to say. What the people got to say? Tell me what the people got to say.
I'm hearing neither.
Right.
Neutral, 1, 2. Pretty mixed.
Yeah, it is pretty mixed. And again, if you're thinking about it, Tesla is Tesla. No matter what Elon Musk does, Tesla ain't going away nowhere.
Nope.
He just ain't. Whether it is the Robotaxi, whether it's the car, whether it's he ain't going nowhere. So.
And I wonder what mentions in this earnings call will be of those forward-thinking projects.
And I think it's going to be what people hear, which will push the stock either up or down, because they're going to need to talk about a little bit more about the Robotaxi and the robots.
Yeah.
They're going to need to talk about their inexpensive car. All right. They're going to need to talk about what's going on with the Cybertruck. There's got a couple of recalls on it.
Yeah. They're going to need to talk about that lackluster robot event they had.
So he's going to have a lot of. Elon, you got some splaining to do. So
Yeah, and a straddle, very expensive. You're paying for that volatility premium before earnings.
No, strangle, you're paying a lot more. But, well, yeah, you might be right. I think you're right. If the volatility, that's right, because the VIX is getting up there.
A straddle is a buyer, right? Strangle's the seller.
No, strangle is buying a call and put at the same strike.
Okay.
Straddle is buying a call and put with their spread.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
But so when you're going to buy a strangle, that thing it better move, because if it stays within the 2 strikes,
You're done.
You're screwed.
And you just paid all that premium for earnings, because if it doesn't work the way you want it to work the next day, that volatility is going to reside in the value of those options. You know, if the stock doesn't move and stays within that range,
That's why most people play a straddle.
You're going to get your butt kicked.
But if you're in a very volatile stock, you're going to pay. You'll pay less money for the strangle. You'll pay less money for the strangle, but it's got to move a lot. All right, so we got the call going.
Oh, bro.
So we're just waiting for people to come on and start talking.
Are we going to hear them, Joey?
Are you gonna hear who?
The
we're
call.
playing the call.
Do you not hear it? That's literally what this is.
I can barely hear it.
I can barely hear it too.
I'm going to turn my hearing aid up.
Wow.
I don't have the best of hearing.
Well, you don't have the best of eyesight. You ain't got the best legs. I don't know. Why don't you just sit still all the time?
I'm Darwinism at its finest.
Nice.
Darwinism.
I like that. Darwinism at its finest. Straddle before earnings was
Better off
16. See, now wait, the straddle was only $16.
Well, yeah, $16 premium is $1,600 though, an option.
Okay, I can hear that now.
Are you better off using an iron condor and get the IV crush, then move the wings if you get tested or roll out. Strangle depends on your spread.
So what iron condor means it's got to stay still. Iron condor means it's going to sit in a channel.
It's got to be within a range.
Right. I don't know. I think that Tesla's more volatile than iron condor would allow. That's my thinking. Can you hear the music of VV Nation? That's Joey.
You might just have to spread that condor out a little bit more. For more
you would
volatile
have
stocks.
to. All right, but if it's, oh, they said no. See, we're gonna be screwed. Joey's not gonna. Huh? It ain't me.
What music is that out here?
That's the music for them before they come on.
I know.
But they don't hear it? Okay, Joey said he's working on it. That's 2 people said no. But I'm not telling Joey his job.
No, that's a first.
I'm not telling
That's
Joey
a
his job.
first.
We're just gonna sit here and wait for this call.
All right, so the viewership's picking back up. Looks like people are getting antsy, getting ready for the Tesla earnings call. It's going to be streamed here in just a moment. We got the Q3 results. Just to recap here, they missed on revenue but beat on earnings.
I don't know what earnings they beat.
And I know as far as bottom line growth, this is the first earnings report this year, 2024,
They got positive growth.
where they got positive growth, year over year positive growth. I see that being one of the big catalysts for the movers to the upside. But as we just mentioned, I mean, they lowered the bar. Their EPS came in at 72 cents. We mentioned earlier the report came out in January earnings call for fourth quarter 2023, only at 71 cents. So now it's 3 quarters later, and it's only 1 cent higher on the earnings per share. Glenn looks like he's in court.
I object, Your Honor.
Oh God! What kind of ticket you got there?
It says 233 now.
Your horse ain't registered?
Joey, do we have 233 people here? I show 145. Where does that 233, Santalal?
I think they're talking about the price.
Oh, I'm about to say, what you shitting me for? You shitting me? I got to deal with these people all the time.
Bird.
I'm a bird?
I said herd.
Oh, gosh.
So did we get the music working?
Welcome to Tesla's third
All right, here we go.
2024 Q&A webcast. My name is Travis Axelrod, Head of Investor Relations, and I'm joined today by Elon Musk.
Everyone can hear the earnings call?
I can barely hear it. Still.
Our Q3 results were announced at about 3 p.m. Central Time in the
Can you turn it
update
up a
deck
little
we
bit, Joe?
published at the same link as this webcast. During this call, we will discuss our business
There we go.
outlook and make
Dang,
forward-looking
Joey.
statements.
Turn it down.
These comments are based on our predictions and expectations as of today. Actual events or results could differ materially due to a number of risks and uncertainties, including those mentioned in our most recent filings with the SEC. During the question and answer portion of today's call, please limit yourself to 1 question and 1 follow-up.
Okay.
Please use the raise hand button to join the question queue.
You raise
Before
your
we jump
hand?
into Q&A,
This guy sounds like AI.
does.
William, he does.
So to recap, as someone was saying, it's something that automotive industry was saying year-over-year declines in order volumes in Q3. Tesla at the same time has achieved record deliveries. In fact, I think if you look at EV companies worldwide, to the best of my knowledge, no EV company is even profitable. And I'm not, to the best of my knowledge, there is no EV division of any company, of any existing auto company that is profitable. So it is notable that Tesla is profitable despite a very challenging automotive environment.
Profitable in a hard market?
And this quarter actually is a record Q3 for us. So we produced our 7th million vehicle actually just yesterday. So congratulations to the teams that made it happen at Tesla. That's a staggeringly immense amount of work to make 7 million cars. Let's see, and we also have the energy storage business is growing like wildfire with strong demand for both Megapack and Powerwall.
Battery storage business.
And as people know, on October 10th, we laid out a vision for an autonomous and electric future that I think is very compelling. I also thought, the Tesla team did a phenomenal job there with actually giving people an opportunity to experience the future, where you have humanoid robots walking among the crowd, not with the canned video presentation or anything, but literally walking among the crowd, serving drinks and whatnot. And and we had 50 autonomous vehicles. There were 20 Cybercabs, but there were an additional 30 Model Ys operating fully autonomously the entire night, carrying thousands of people during, with no incidents the entire night. And for those who went there, it's worth emphasizing that the Cybercab had no steering wheel or brake or accelerator pedals, meaning there was no way for anyone to intervene manually, even if they wanted to, and the whole night went very smoothly. So, regarding the vehicle business, we are still on track to deliver more affordable models starting in the first half of 2025. This is, I think probably people are wondering, well, what should they assume for vehicle sales growth next year? And at the risk of, to take a bit of risk here, I do want to give some rough estimate, which is, I think, it's 20 to 30% vehicle growth next year.
20 to 30%.
Notwithstanding negative external events, like if there's some force majeure events, like some big war breaks out or interest rates go sky high or something like that, then we can't overcome massive force majeure events. But I think with our low cost vehicles, with the advent of autonomy, something like a 20 to 30% growth next year is my best guess.
I like this warning of rising interest rates.
And
that's interesting.
And then Cybercab reaching volume production in 26. I do feel confident of Cybercab reaching volume production in 26. Not just starting production, but reaching volume production in 26. And that should be substantial growth. We're aiming for at least 2 million units a year of Cybercab. That'll be in more than one factory, but I think it's at least 2 million units a year, maybe 4 million ultimately. These are just my best guesses, but if you ask me what my best guess is, those are my best guesses.
Nice bump up right there on that minute based upon
the
what
46, the cell 4680 lines. The team is actually doing great work there. The 4680 is rapidly approaching the point where it is the most competitive cell. So when you consider the fully landed, the cost of a battery pack fully landed in the U.S., net of incentives and duties, the 4680 is tracking to be the most competitive, meaning lower cost per kilowatt hour fully considered than any other alternative, which is not quite there yet, but we're close to being there, which I think is extremely exciting. And we've got a lot of ideas to go well beyond that. So
these candles.
I think if we execute well, the 4680 will have the Tesla internally produced cell will be the most cost competitive cell in certainly North America.
Is that his way of getting around?
A testament to a tremendous amount of hard work there
I think
by the
so.
team.
Yeah. His new terminology.
So that's a rule. We'll continue to buy a lot of cells from our competitors. Our intent is not to make cells just internally. So I don't want to set off any alarm bells here. We're obviously increasing substantially our vehicle output and our stationary storage output. So we need a lot of cells, and most of them will still come from suppliers. But I think it is some good news that the Tesla internal cell is tracking to be the most competitive in the U.S.
Tesla internal, what the hell?
So with respect to autonomy, as people are experiencing in the cars, really from week to week, there are significant improvements in the miles between interventions. So with the new version 12.5, the release of Full Self-Driving and Cybertruck, the combining the code into a single stack so that the city driving and the end-to-end highway driving are one stack, which is a big improvement for the highway driving. So it's just all neural nets. and the release of actually Smart Summon. We try to have a sense of humor here at Tesla. And we're also, so that's 12.5. Version 13 of FSD is going out soon. Ashok will elaborate more on that later in the call. We expect to see roughly a 5 or 6-fold improvement in miles between interventions compared to 12.5. And actually, looking at the year as a whole, the improvement in miles between interventions, we think will be at least 3 orders of magnitude. So that's a very dramatic improvement in the course of the year, and we expect that trend to continue next year. So
170.
The current internal expectation, emphasize internal expectation, for the Tesla FSD having longer miles between intervention than human is the second quarter of next year, which means it may end up being the third quarter, but it's next. It seems extremely likely to be next year. Sure, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, when measuring miles between critical interventions, like you mentioned, Elon, we already made a 100x improvement with 12.5 from starting of this year, and then with V13 release, we expect to be 1000x from the beginning, from January of this year on my production release software. And this came in because of technology improvements, going to end-to-end, having higher frame rate, partly also helped by hardware force, more capabilities, so on. And we hope that we continue to scale the neural network, the data, the training compute, etc. By Q2 next year, we should cross over the average human miles per critical intervention, or like collision in that case.
I mean, that is just unvarnished our internal estimate.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not sandbagging or anything else. Our internal estimate is Q2 of next year to be safer than human, and then to continue with rapid improvements thereafter. Now, a lot.
It's going right up to that gap fill.
Vast majority of humanity has no idea that Teslas can drive themselves. So, especially for something like a Model 3 or Model Y, it looks like a normal car. So you don't expect a normal car to be able to be intelligent enough to drive itself. The Cybercab looks different. Cybertruck looks different, but Model Y and Model 3 they're good-looking cars, but they look fairly normal. You don't expect a fairly normal-looking car to have the intelligence and enough AI to be able to drive itself. But
investors like the talk.
So we do want to expose that to more people, and so we're doing, every time we have a significant improvement in the software, we'll roll out another sort of 30-day trial. So to encourage people to try it again.
Put that on.
And we are seeing a significant improvement in adoption.
Yeah, we are seeing uptick in the volume there.
The take rate for FSD has improved substantially, especially after the 1010 event.
You can buy a Tesla up to like 8 in most brokerages?
So there's no need to wait for Robotaxi or Cybercab to experience full autonomy. We expect to achieve that next year with our existing vehicle line.
After the market closes.
Or it's worth actually someone gives a small taste of what it's going to look like.
I'm interested to see what
the car able to drive itself to the user within private parking lots. Currently, it's speed limited, but then it's going to quickly
right where we would close the gap
be increased. And we already had more than 1 million usage items of Smart Summon.
Yep. So, and we have for Tesla employees in the Bay Area, we already are offering a ride-hailing capability. So you can actually use with the development app, you can request a ride and it'll take you anywhere in the Bay Area. We do have a safety driver for now, but the software required to do that.
Nice little high.
We've developed, and I mean, David,
I
do you
like how
want
he
to
says
elaborate on
they
that?
have an autonomous taxi in the Bay Area.
We showed
There's a
some
safety
screenshots of
driver
this
there
in the
saying
Q1 shareholder deck, and this is real. We've been testing it for the better part of the year, and the building blocks that we needed in order to build this functionality and deliver it to production, we've been thinking about, working on for years.
Crazy buying hours,
It just so happens that we've used those building blocks to deliver great features for our customers in the meantime, such as sharing your profile, synchronizing it across cars, so that every single car that you jump into, whether it's another car that you own or a car that somebody's loaned to you or a rental car that you jump into, it looks exactly like yours. Everything synchronized, seat mirror positions, media, navigation, everything is the same. Just what you would expect from one of our Robotaxis. But we gave that functionality to our customers right now because we built it intending for it to be used in the future. We're releasing that functionality now.
That's cool.
All the end-to-end cybersecurity that we knew we were going to need to deliver that functionality. Sending a navigation destination from your phone to the vehicle.
Sounds good.
And so, you're doing that now with the ride-hailing app, but it's something that we've made available to customers for years. Seeing the progress on a route in the mobile app, that's something you'll need for the ride-hailing app, but again, we released it in the meantime. So
self-driving is
it's not like we're just starting to think about this stuff right now while we're building out, the early stages of our ride-hailing network. We've been thinking about this for quite a long time, and we're excited to get the
their business
functionality.
model. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we do expect to roll out ride-hailing in California and Texas next year to the public. The California is there's quite a long regulatory approval process. I think we should get approval next year, but it's contingent upon regulatory approval. Texas is a lot faster, so it's I'd say like
the prediction 260. I see that in the comments.
We'll definitely have it available in Texas.
Price.
And probably have it available in California, subject to regulatory approval.
Maybe 260.
And maybe some other states actually next year as well, but at least California and Texas.
Stay focused on Tesla in order to get. Right now, we're stopped right at that level of resistance.
So I think that'd be very exciting. That's really a profound change. Tesla becomes more than a
have a good day, Ramon.
It's stopping right at that gap.
And
I don't know.
battery manufacturing company.
How it plays out tomorrow.
At that point. So we published our Q3 vehicle safety report, which shows one crash for every 7 million miles of autopilot. That compares to the US average of one crash roughly every 700,000 miles. So it's currently showing a 10x safety improvement relative to the US average. And we continue to expand our AI training capacity to accommodate the needs of both FSD and Optimus. We're currently not a training compute constraint. That's probably the biggest limiting factor is that the FSD is actually getting so good that it takes us a while to actually find mistakes. When you start getting to where it can take 10,000 miles to find a mistake,
but all it
takes
is
a while
one
to actually
mistake.
figure out
which all it takes is one mistake.
Is this software built better than the software built A better than software built B? It actually takes a while to figure it out because neither one of them makes a mistake.
Another mistake.
It would take a long time to make mistakes. So that's actually the single biggest limiting factor is how long does it take us to figure out which version is better. So that's sort of high-class problem. Obviously, having a giant fleet is very helpful for breaking this out. And then with Optimus, we showed a massive improvement in Optimus's dexterity and movement on October 10th, and our next gen hand and forearm, which has 22 degrees of freedom, which is double the prior hand and forearm. It's extremely human-like.
Is this
and also has much better tactile sensing.
This is nice talk about the robot.
It's really, I feel confident in saying that we have the most advanced humanoid robot by a long shot. And we're moreover the only company that really has all of the ingredients necessary to scale
Quick question.
humanoid robots.
Anybody ever read Isaac Asimov books? It's type of 1.
Because
My
the
favorite author,
things that
Isaac
what
Asimov.
other companies are missing is that
Does it have to do about
missing
robots?
Yes.
the AI brain.
End of the world?
And they're missing
Just
the ability to really
robots.
scale to
The
very high
Humaniform
volume
Robot.
production.
It's an
Interesting.
excellent series, the Foundation series.
So you sometimes see some impressive video demos, but they lack the
Anytime they
they
talk
lack
about the
the
robots,
localized AI
you just
and
don't get the sentiment there.
ability to scale
It's a
volume to
great
very high numbers.
series. The Foundation series is an amazing series of science.
As I've said on a few occasions before, I think Optimus will ultimately be the most valuable part.
We got a one in.
Yeah, I see.
And I think it has a good chance of being the most valuable product ever made.
Yeah, see, it's a,
What's Foundation?
For the energy business, that's doing extremely well.
They only did one season
And
of the Foundation on
opportunity ahead
TV.
is
What is it on?
gigantic.
Is there?
It's about
The Lathrop
robots and
Megapack
No, is it like on a
factory
streaming
reached
platform?
200
yeah, I forget
megapacks
which
a week,
streaming. I think
I'll
it was
just Google
Apple.
which is now
But
a 40
they only did, I
gigawatt
can't
hour a
believe they
year
didn't pick up a
run rate.
second season.
Okay.
And we have a second factory in Shanghai that will begin with a
Thank you,
20
William.
gigawatt hour a year run rate in Q1 next year, so just next quarter.
Folks, if you like us being here and
that'll
doing this,
also
hit the
scale
like
up.
button. Hit the like button.
We're shipping 100 gigawatt hours a year stationary storage at Tesla.
No second. And yeah, it's
And
Apple.
it'll-
Okay, I've got Apple Plus.
that'll-
It's a
I mean,
great series. Gotta watch it.
That'll ultimately grow, I think.
What do you guys want to continue
multiple
watching
terawatt hours per year.
the earnings call, or
It has
shall
to,
we
in order
wrap
to
it
have a
up?
sustainable energy future.
You
If you're not
said that they
terawatt
did
scale,
a
you're-
second series?
You're not really moving the needle.
Yes, they did a second series. It was amazing.
I didn't see it.
Huh.
I gotta find it.
It's on
If
Apple.
you look at our
Apple Plus. You got Apple Plus, don't you?
Yes. All right, let us know. I'm watching the numbers fall. Let us know if you want to continue to call or you want us to wrap this up.
Before you go, next Wednesday, it's Meta Microsoft, right? Is that the one we're doing?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. And then AMD's Tuesday. We're still maybe going to do that?
I don't want to do two solid days. Solid calls.
Understandable. It'll probably be Wednesday for
I think
Meta.
it'll be Wednesday.
Meta and Microsoft.
All right.
And there were no fundamental material.
239. Look at that. Just hit a new high, Samtalal.
Looks like it's going to get above that gap. Almost at 240.
John says keep watching. Okay. John, I need more than just Samtalal says wrap up. I'm going to take the majority. So I need everybody to chime in. Do you want us to keep watching or wrap it up?
We're getting a nice break above this gap level here. This is the level I'm going to look at tomorrow morning. See where the stock's at. It's around 239.24.
TSLA looks like it may be a good play going in tomorrow.
Cautious scale one would be you're using all the power of.
Here, go back to 1 month.
We're currently less than 1%.
There we are.
Look at
We're
that.
filling that gap.
Level one. Level two would be using all the power of the sun.
Few more minutes. Wrap up.
239.35. We're just above that. Keep watching. It's pretty mixed.
Long way to go. When you think in Kardashev terms, it becomes obvious that
So TSLL?
by far the biggest
TSLL.
source of energy is the
Thank you,
sun.
Joey.
Everything else is
Yeah, look at
There's
that.
that big jump. Look, filled the gap
in the noise.
as well.
So
And that's leveraged.
I don't know. I
So
think
in
we might get a
conclusion,
gap fill and a
Tesla is focused
retest on
on
this
building
trend
the future
line.
of energy,
So if we get a
transport,
retracement
robotics,
back
and
into
AI.
that gap, I would definitely be concerned.
And this is a time when others are just focused on managing
Put a comma
near-term trends.
TSLY.
We think what we're doing is the right approach. And
Is that the yield max? It
if we
is.
execute
Yeah,
on
TSLY
I don't
yield
like the
max.
yield
I think we
max.
will.
Yield max is up.
Tesla,
Or,
my
no, that's
prediction is
not
Tesla will become the most valuable company in the world.
Yield max
Probably by a long
down.
shot.
It may not move after hours.
It may not.
I want
Let's
to thank
see
the
here, one
Tesla
day.
team once
No, it's
again
moving. It's
for
up.
strong
It's at
execution
12.
in a tough operating environment. And
I don't know why it's not reflected there, though.
An incredibly exciting future. Thank you.
I know that's right.
Great. Thank you very much, Elon.
There we go.
Oh,
There's
there
a
we go.
reflection. Took a minute. But yeah, all of these are starting to fill that gap now. But look at this one. There's another gap to fill.
Positive, and once
There.
again demonstrate the scale to which business has evolved over the years with the generation of record operating cash
We're
flows
above
of
239
$6.3
right
billion.
now.
Automotive revenues grew both quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year. While we had unit volume growth, we did experience reduction in ASPs, primarily due to the impact of financing
All right, if we
incentives.
drop
As a
below
reminder,
100 people,
we
we're
are
going to
providing
stop
these
the
incentives
stream.
primarily using third-party
we
banks
drop
and
below
financial
100 people,
institutions
we'll
and
probably
recognize
stop
the
the
cost of these incentives as an upfront reduction to revenue. We released FSD for Cybertruck and other features like
Sales
actually
growth
smart
rate at
summon,
2,
like Elon
earnings
talked
growth
about
rate
in North America,
-6.
Yeah, see,
which
that's because of all of this
contributed
infighting
$326
with
million of
the
revenues
price
in the
with
quarter.
China. They had all.
We continue to see elevated
I'm
levels
just
of
shocked.
regulatory
I don't know if
content
I should be
sales,
shocked.
with over $2 billion of
Tesla.
revenues so far this year.
T up
Expand on this
4%.
at
Yeah,
an
that's
industry
AT&T.
level,
Let's take a look at
China
IBM
continues
real
to
quick.
outperform
And
US
now,
and Europe by a factor of 3. And if there is something to be learned
we got
from that,
Lam
this gives a
and
signal
T.
of what is to
And
come
T.
in other regions as customers' acceptance of
IBM
grows.
after their beat.
And we feel that
Look at
is
that,
the right
straight in that
strategy
trend line.
to build
Perfect on the trend
affordable
line.
and more compelling deals. Our focus remains
Bouncing off
on growing
support.
unit volume
that's got that
while
big jump
avoiding
up to the
buildup
upside.
of
Look at that. It's
inventory.
out at 75.
To support this strategy,
IBM.
we're continuing to offer extremely
Still gap
compelling
down, but
vehicle financing
trying
options.
to make
in
its way
every-
back to where it was.
When you compare any vehicle in our lineup with other OEMs,
That looks nice. I like semiconductors
believe
are hot.
our vehicles provide
Now,
much
pretty
better
much
value.
got back to where it
Particularly
was,
when
filled
you
the gap, and
consider
now it's kind
the
of
safety
trading
features,
slightly to the
performance,
downside.
What do you
and
call it?
unparalleled software
Yeah.
functionalities.
Diddling
like
around?
David
Diddling.
also talked about.
Diddling around.
Include
Stock's just
also
diddling
what,
around.
Ashok had talked about around autonomy.
TSLQ
music
wasn't a good
options,
move. Michael,
Correct.
that's why he only put a
controls,
half of
I
a
put
much
percent.
more.
$500 in with a
When every
10%
vehicle
stop.
in our
So if I
lineup
get
comes up with
stopped
these
out tomorrow
capabilities,
morning, I'm looking at
there's an
$50
awareness
loss.
gap.
There you go.
That is
Not
main.
just with
That's a
buyers,
risk I was
but
willing
at
to take
times
with
even
Tesla.
with existing
That was a
owners.
good move.
We
I
plan
didn't want
on
to do a
making
full
these more
position. Wasn't
visible
willing
in
to
our
risk more than
interactions
that.
with both existing and future customers.
But the trade ain't over yet either.
Automotive
there's a
margins
lot of time for now.
improved
Yeah,
no,
quarter-over-quarter
you screwed up.
as a result of FSD features
Here's T. Look,
discussed
they had
before.
their jump.
Increase in our
pre-market
overall production
earnings.
and delivery volume.
Stock rallied
Continued
through.
benefit
Now
from
it's just
commodity
chilling.
pricing.
Now it's just
and
diddling
more
around.
utilized deliveries in
Diddling
Egypt, which
around here.
resulted in
All
All right, let's wrap it up.
increase.
Yep.
Sustaining these
Take us
margins
out
in
on. Is there,
Q4
do we have an
will
outro
be
screen, Joey?
challenging.
We got a cool screen.
No.
So that we are focused on
We could just stop.
and there are numerous work streams within the
We'll just pause it there. All right.
So we did drop below 100. That's fine. That's fine. People got things to do. We were sitting here. Hey, It was our pleasure to be here to take you through this. It was our pleasure to be here, and on a lot of the big stocks that come out, we're gonna do this. You know, Nvidia. The last time we did Nvidia was like everybody and their mama came.
Yeah.
They told
true.
their mama and them. When we do these live streams on the market calls, folks, you need to invite some folks. Invite some folks. Bring them.
Now,
bring Tukey and them.
Just to recap.
Yeah.
Record deliveries. Elon
Right.
Musk mentioned. One of the few, according to him, possibly the only profitable EV company.
And I talked about one today was XPEV to keep your
XPEV.
eyes on. But Neo and Lee and all them, I'm not feeling it.
One segment that stood out in the call, Elon referred it to as a surging, the battery business. Was it the manufacturing battery business? He said it was surging, so that's always good. Help make up for some of those losses on the EV side of things. And then next year, the guide is what, 20 to 30% growth
on autonomous driving.
And then 2026 Cybercab. They're expecting full
What is
volume.
Cybercab? Do you know what that is?
It's like a truck, but it's a cab.
It's the truck?
No, it's just their autonomous taxi cab that they're talking about.
What about the big truck?
The
What
truck
about
is already out. It's on the road. The Cybertruck.
the tractor trailer? No, the
Oh,
tractor trailer.
he didn't mention that.
I'm thinking so the Cybercab is different. I thought Robotaxi and
The Cybercab. Actually, that's true. It's a confusing name. You got cab and taxi. But yeah, the Cybercab is the 18
which is going to be interesting if you're going to see a whole bunch of tractor trailers out on the road just chilling. All right.
I'm waiting for that strike. You know,
Pega has decent earnings. Oh gosh. Thank you so much, informative. Thank you guys for showing up for this. All right,
Yes.
but every time we do this, we'll put it out there. Invite some folks. Please do. We want people to come to these live calls because we want to have the analysis, the real live time analysis with you guys because we love you.
And
At
for the
least that bit.
for the big companies, we plan to do live streams for those. Again, next Wednesday is Microsoft and Meta. So
We're not going to ever do one for ARM though because that's just a crappy company.
No, we're not gonna do one for ARM or Palantir.
We're gonna do one for Palantir.
Glenn might do
I
one for
will do one for Palantir. Believe you me.
AMD, I might stick around and do earnings next Tuesday. I got to see if Joey or Q would be available for that. So look out for that. I might be able to do one. I got to see what the schedule's like. But that would be a good one for me. I love AMD. I'm looking forward to it. Enjoy tonight's 6 p.m. video. That's coming out here. Actually, just now. It just hit 6 p.m.
Go watch it.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
What have I got? What's tomorrow? Thursday? I got Trending Thursday. I'll see you at 2 o'clock on Trending Thursday.